So I'm going to talk about being of service to counter depression and loneliness. The loneliness can trigger depression. The loneliness can trigger pain. And verbalizing the pain that we're going through, whether it be from the loneliness, for me, it's that combined with the world events regarding hate, genocide, war, oppression, fascism, sexual assault, the surveillance society, indefinite detention, the victims of war, on and on, right? I've got a big heart and I care about people that others don't. So I live in a world where people hate me for caring about others and insult me and berate me. In the so-called real world, knock on wood, the world outside of the internet, it's never been darker. People talk about how bad the internet is, including myself, but the reason why the internet is a tool, and right, we should use the aspects of the internet that we can for the highest good, right? And the reason why we need to do more of that, why I need to do more of that, why that is the solution to the best of our ability to attract the right people into our lives, is because when we don't upload our thoughts and we don't help people in a appropriate medium, right? Then our thoughts, our ideas can be used against us as if we're in the court of law. And I have been 86'd, I have been stalked, I have been insulted, I have been berated, I have been set up by evil people out there that have been watching me on the internet, on my main channel. And they did it to stop me from helping others. They did it because I did it with my name, and they were able to shut me down. And it doesn't mean that it won't happen again, but that's ultimately why it is happening. It's because of something right that we're doing, right? We're being of service, we're helping others. People will go out of their way to stop us from helping others that are evil. It doesn't mean that we should bend to what they want. We have to reroute what we're doing. We should continue to help others understand what's going on this planet. But this world has a really interesting way of co-opting us to the best of its ability, setting traps for us. And I ended up moving in with a toxic individual, a narcissist, who seems to really hate me for what I'm doing. She doesn't listen to my podcasts. She doesn't care about my desire to help others, and she ultimately hates me, because this is a part of my life path. There's nothing to her or about her physicality or about her personality that I want to be around. She's a bully. So when we are in these live-in situations where we're being abused, we need to find an outlet for ourselves to talk to the people that we can, because there's nobody that I can talk to in this so-called real world in the Dallas area where people are going to be receptive to what I'm saying because it's anti-spiritual. They're all connected in this hive mind of evil. They're all being affected by the trance-like energies, the electromagnetic frequencies, and not just here, but I would say especially here. It's worse here than other places. And so the internet is not necessarily a good place, right? But without the internet, without the ability to reach out and touch someone, to reach out and communicate with someone, what else are we left with? We're left with situations, people, places, and things that might actually want to put us into a mental hospital or a jail or an institution for saying things that they are not, right? For standing up for the people that they are not. That's the type of evil that Dallas is, right? So what I need to do, since I can't help this person that I lived with, and I can't help the local people in town, and I certainly can't help the local cops realize that when there are solar flares, geomagnetic storms, that there is more crime, that there is more human trafficking. Right? So I want to be able to life coach people and connect with people with the knowledge that I have. Even if the internet isn't perfect, the internet has a function. People can wake up to certain truths on the internet. People can learn certain techniques to protect themselves from evil on the internet. People can learn about the nature of evil through the internet and make a decision whether they're going to join that evil or be opposed to that evil. Whereas without that internet, as dark as it might be, as controlled as it might be, this is all we have, the world around us. And it's really, right now in America, only for certain races or heritages to be able to walk in anywhere and make any friends, any kind of friends, just because they show up. This place is very cruel. If you're not looking white as everybody else, or black as everybody else, or Hispanic like everybody else, you're an outsider. You know, and the person that I live with, she's Hispanic. She's not a racial outsider. And this is the harm that comes. It's the harm that my dad faced. It's the harm that I faced. That when you're an ethnic person and you're with a woman who's not ethnic, who's not marginalized, who doesn't have any compassion whatsoever, when your kind is being murdered, they will turn on you and try to destroy your life simply because you're emotional. And they'll turn your natural emotions around as if they're weaponized against them, and they'll call you abusive, or they'll call me abusive. And then people just hear that buzzword, he's abusive, or he yells or he shouts, and they stigmatize that individual, and they take that individual away. The question is, what are we shouting at? What are we yelling about? What are we concerned about? You know, when you're talking about real life disasters and things that are coming, and not necessarily yelling at someone, but yelling out in pain, going, you know, this is really happening. It would be helpful to have some acknowledgement. Really, that person is shouting out at the fact that they are being emotionally abandoned. Physically abandoned, intellectually abandoned, spiritually abandoned. They are being abandoned. And so it's natural for people when they're abandoned to cry out in pain. So in this modern day and age, where your emotions can get you in trouble, you need to learn how to channel that. Because we live in a police state where they will lock you up. They will lock you up, they will 86 you. If you share your emotions in front of the wrong person, they will hurt you. And that's what's coming down. And that's what this place is all about. Of mass incarceration, mass institutionalization, mass control, mass Satanism, mass human trafficking. That's what this place is. That's all it is. So when you're in that type of environment, you need to be able to talk about what's taking place. You need to be able to, if you're a real man, you need to be able, you should have the right to be a man, right? To speak about the things that matter, to speak about the people that matter as a real man, as a real human being, as a person with a soul. So that's what we got to do. We've got to find our way to let our light shine through these videos, okay? Through this ability where anybody can start a YouTube account, right? Anybody, in theory, should be able to not reach the whole world necessarily, but to reach people, to put it out there, and theoretically, through the law of attraction, and if and when there isn't major interference, right, where the YouTube channel is working right, and we are getting some views, then in theory, we should be able to build a bridge between each other. Even if you're not here and I'm not there, the ability does exist for us to affect one another with the powers of our mind. And I want to be very clear on that we are affected by each other's energy. We are affected by the people that watch us. We can affect the people that watch us or listen to us. I have a Substack page with a lot of people that I added to it that are editors from the media, the mainstream media, independent media, not so much conspiracy media, but smaller media outlets that cover, like, you know, regular news or normal news that isn't necessarily so out there. And I am doing that to be of service, right? So I'm creating enough content that, you know, in the right circumstances in a fair world should actually make me an income. But I'm not getting an income from it. None of that's being monetized. I'm simply doing it to put out the right information to educate other people. She doesn't want to be educated. My mother doesn't want to be educated. A lot of women in this world, they don't want to be educated. But I am educating anyways. I'm going to create the videos and the advice for women to stay safe in this world anyways. And if they want to ignore it, they can ignore it. But I know that I showed up, that I said what needed to be said, right? that I was of service, and that I'm going to create the content and put it out there, and people might not find it for many, many years, but hopefully they will find it, the people that need it, and in a best case scenario, they will help me. They will contact me. They will email me at whatinthehell.is-going-on@proton.me. That's whatinthehell.is-going-on@proton.me, right? And they will provide me with some encouragement. They may stick their hand out in friendship and offer to engage with me. But that's basically what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with a world that doesn't want to engage. And so you need to be in the right mindset of putting out the content that needs to be put out there, even if we don't have the engagement. You need to be able to record the video, record the thought, record what's taking place with the relationship, and document it for your own records, because later on you might not remember. And when you're being insulted by people, and when you're coming under attack, you should document it. And most especially, you should document how you are surviving it, how you are overcoming it. Because if you bottle up this pain, which I'll do for a couple days at a time when I'm not uploading to Substack, when you bottle up this pain, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So you can't talk to your relationship person, you can't talk to your SO about what her unconscious behavior is. You have to literally go around her, and you have to connect with other people, other men that are, out there in the world that are looking for answers, because we're in a new world now. That by being a good man, by being a moral man, by being a real Christian man, by being a man against genocide, you can face major obstacles with these supposed normal, upstanding people that we think are legit and are on the up and up. But when push comes to shove and the world becomes much more evil and there's a lot more oppression, right? And we're facing things like World War III. Like, you see the real nature of people come out, So when you're being insulted by your significant other, when you're being berated, learn to meditate, take a deep breath, and when you're dealing with that actual person, right, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse, go ahead and make some audio recordings, right? You might need it for legal protection, and you might need it to show other people what you actually went through, right? Because as men, we're not listened to, we're not believed when it comes to issues regarding abuse. We're seen as the ultimate bad guy. Even if we're doing the right thing as men, and we're not being abusive, we're just raising our voice and being emotional, it's expected of us now, even though it's not in writing, to let these women rule over us. And if you do that, if you put women before God, right, or the desires of your woman, or the desires of a woman, then you can be redirected from your life path, right? And that's been one of the greatest concerns that I've had, right, since moving here and living in this environment. It feels like it's taken me off my life path, and then I'm put right basically into the vortex of electromagnetic energy that basically acts like a vampiric mechanism, right? Where it's constantly feeding on the life force and preventing one from feeling whole, from feeling fully rested. So subscribe if you're new. If you want to get a hold of me, send me an email. What in the hell is going on at proton.me, and we can talk. We can actually do a one-on-one if you like via Skype. I would definitely like to have the experience of providing somebody with life coaching advice. Thank you.